right, guys, on the last segment of this series is how do I prepare my business for an exit strategy, sale, merger, or IPO. This video could be an entire 4-hour series. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep it short. I'm gonna cover a bunch of topics in it, and then I would advise you to go look at each individual one yourself. We have some resources if you're on chriscraze.com in the tools section that are below this video. We'll probably link them in the YouTube video as well in the description. But ultimately, you wanna understand that there are options later on. And building your business, you definitely wanna understand two things. You want to build the business with the understanding that there's a life cycle of the business. You're going to have a peak and it's going to start coming down unless you can keep innovating, right? But normally businesses do have a life cycle. Whatever that is, it's dependent on you, your industry, and many other factors. The other thing to understand is it's best to build a business that you will actually sell one day and not just keep, or build a business to go IPO, have initial public offering. And so what are some things to consider? Always build with an exit in mind. There's a lot of people who start a lot of businesses like me, and then there's a lot of people who start a lot of businesses and sell a lot of businesses as well. And that's a big, big thing and a good thing to be proud of in the ecosystem of entrepreneurs and business owners and founders is how many businesses you've sold and how many successful exits you've had, because that means that you've done the complete cycle of a business where you buy it or start it, you grow it, and you sell it, because selling is its own beast all in of itself. And frequently what I like to do with a couple of my companies is go and look at what are the metrics and what are the things that are needed to sell a business, and am I currently ready to sell a business at any time based on those metrics and based on those certain items that are looked at in a business. Do I have everything in order? Or where are sales at? Whatever the things are, that's a whole nother video that we can go into, so I won't inundate you with that here because I do want to keep this one short. At the same time though, the different metrics and the different items that a person buying a business or a person selling the business or a broker would look at that your business has to have, you should be qualifying for that frequently and understanding what those are so that you can best set the business up for sale in the future. So what are some types of exits that are available? Sale to another company, a merger, management buyout, and then an IPO for high growth companies. So high growth companies, they can go IPO, that's ringing the bell on the stock exchange and you go public. Be careful though, because as your product and service exists in your private business, these things start to change in a public business because it becomes about the shareholders now. And unfortunately, sometimes the product and the service becomes second because it's all about the shareholders. What other businesses can you buy? What other things can you do to keep the revenues going and the profit going and everything in an upswing? Because now you have shareholders to answer to, not just yourself and your directors that you have. So a management buyout is ultimately going to buy out the company. It's a management, they're going to come in, they're going to buy the company out and they're going to take it over, and that's that. A merger, you're going to merge with another company. Another company is going to buy you, you're going to merge with them, and then that's how that goes down. These are very simplistic. I would advise looking at these yourself to get more details on each. Again, I'm just running down high level. And then sale to another company. Maybe another company buys you. Whatever the case is, you're going to be bought by another company. Now, you may stay in the business, you may not. This all depends on what the mergers and acquisitions or ultimately the sale to another company involves and what the agreements are discussed. You may be required to stay on with the business as the owner for a year, for 6 months. What is your capacity? How much are you going to get paid? All this stuff is talked about during this time. So factors that make a business attractive to buyers, some of the ones I was going to talk about earlier, are profitable and growing financials. Is the business in an upswing or is it starting the downturn? Documented systems and processes. How well documented are those business processes and systems? Actually, what other digital assets do you have as well? Some of the intellectual property and the proprietary advantages. Do you have trademarks? Do you have patents that come along with the business? Believe it or not, your digital landscape on all your customer base and how active your customers are in your CRM and your database and your emails, all of that could be its own separate business. Are you doing a newsletter? That's its own separate business. All of these little things make a business more valuable. Strong brand with loyal customer base. Like I said, the documented systems, make sure everything's documented, and low dependence on founder personally. We talked about this in earlier videos. If the founder is the business, if the founder is the one that's required to be involved all the time, guess what? That's going to be a problem and it's going to be hard to sell. So the faster that the founder can take a sidestep, focus more on the company, do everything more for the company, build the brand and the company themselves, you're in a better position to sell when the time comes. Now, steps to prepare a business. Clean up the financials. Are they audit ready? Are they current financials? They're cleaned up, they're nice, they're audit ready, and there's no discrepancies. All the money's accounted for, right? You're not commingling funds. Standardize operations. Are your operations standardized? Are they easy to replicate? Are they easy to advise somebody else? If you went absent from the business for the next year, can that business still run? And can they figure it out based on all the content that you're sending over to them? SOPs, documents, videos, all that stuff. And then identify and de-risk dependencies. Like I said, are these things automated? Can the business run without you? Now, one thing that I would recommend here is a good advisor, right? M&A specialists, mergers and acquisitions, brokers, and lawyers are essential. In Virtual Scaling System, we talk where to find certain different key elements and key people for businesses such as consultants and advisors for different tasks. Maybe it's legal, maybe it's mergers and acquisitions, maybe it's consultants that just have business strategy. We talk about where to find them and how to get them, and this would benefit you as well if you were looking into any mergers and acquisitions or consultants to help just jog the mind. Maybe you want to spend an hour or 30 minutes on the phone with them and get some information to find out what it would look like to sell your business, what you need to do, what you need to have in line if you didn't want to AI that or GPT it online, right? So the key takeaway is this: whether you exit or not, building an exit-ready business makes you stronger and wealthier in the end. Thanks guys for watching this entire series. We have more resources below, and I'll see you on the next video. Give me a thumbs up here if you like it, and ultimately, thanks for watching and thanks for hanging all the way till the end. Good luck in your business, and let us know if you have any questions, put those down below. Cheers.